because for 25 years we've been involved actively in training the next generation of missionaries as these students come through. And so for me, it is such a great joy to see them go on, and then to especially hear back from them and hear what God's doing, where they are, and using them and the skills that they have now to reach people for Christ. And then to hear about some of those actual people that they have reached for Christ, and to hear how they're growing. And that is just absolute joy every time.
Yeah, that's why we're in missions for, and so that's my greatest joy too, is actually seeing fruition of your participation or efforts that God's using, things you've done or people that you know, and you have an initial connection. And it's the same way in the States or whatever, when you get to lead somebody to the Lord, there's a joy in that, not because it's a new life that God did that work in their life. And so if that's what you're investing in, as a church, as a missionary or whatever, you want to see some kind of fruit coming out, or that's what you pray for. I know it's not always as rapid or whatever, and I think the greatest joy too in a successful church plant is seeing those people grab hold of it themselves and want to reach out into another neighboring language or whatever, and going over the mountain or whatever and doing that.
I guess for me, some of it is living a ways from family. Even though we are stateside, we do live a ways, from our family. And so that, to me, I guess that would be the biggest cost, not necessarily choosing where I would be, but following the Lord to where He, transplanted me. So I would say for me, that's probably.
There are some costs when you move from this place to that place, and especially with your family as they're growing up. But you think about it, there's all kinds of Americans that do that all the time for different reasons. So that's not just for missionaries, but there's cost to family. Yeah, if you want to look at the American dream, there you could say there's costs there too. You don't have the retirement account like whoever does. So there's certain costs like that maybe, but they don't outweigh the blessings.
So I'm not a camper. I was raised in the city, and so Jungle Camp is an actual class where we went for 6 weeks up into the mountains and built our own home with poles and plastic, and that I just did not think I could do that. To have to take enough food to cook for a whole family for 6 weeks, and I cook on a barrel stove, and I just didn't think I could do it. The night before we left, I just said, I don't think I can do this. But yeah, the Lord did meet me, and I passed the class. And God does have a sense of humor, because when we finish the training and we're asked to go on to staff, Jungle Camp became our responsibility, and we went every single year up and stayed for the whole amount of time in our plastic pole house, and it's one of my very best memories. So.
We were so different in that is like when I went up there the first time, it's like, wow, I cannot believe they're gonna make me come up here and do 5 or 6 weeks of a camping trip. There was more involved to it than that, but it was like, wow, this is what some people pay a lot of money to do this kind of thing or get away for this, and so yeah, they're gonna make me do that. So it was, and I tried to make it comfortable and everything. But we did have one of our worst fights ever up there, but yeah, it depends. After about 2 weeks, they can hide about anything, but after about 2 weeks in a situation like that, away from the comforts of whatever, things start to come out, whether it be in teamwork or marriages or whatever.
So not only did we have to build our own house, but we had to build our own furniture. And so I saw in somebody else's house this really amazing couch that they had built out of poles and that they had stretched some material over. And I said to Randy, that is what I want. So he built it. And he built it just like I asked, and it was too big. It would not fit. It wouldn't work. And so we had a rather heated discussion about that, and that it wasn't going to work, and he was going to have to take it apart. But in all of that, we were trying to be very Christian about this fight and not let other people hear us. Well, you're living in a plastic house, so we are fighting intensely in whispers, but I'm pretty sure everybody still. But he did take apart the couch and rebuild something else, and it was wonderful. And I was.